Hello, fabulous superstar Libra. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of July 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. The only business class I teach once a year starts this month at the world-renowned Kepler College. Learn more. Sign up now. Links below. It is going to be this month that big moves are absolutely playing out in the sky. Fully 3 planets go retrograde, but one big planet dips into a brand new part of the sky. And in addition, we are going to have a powerful full moon, but a new moon that activates the grand sextile, really a defining, larger, harmonious configuration in the sky that is part of us going from one world into another. And I don't say that lightly. So let's go through all of them one at a time. I'm going to start with the retrogrades because on the 1st of the month, Mercury goes into shadow. On the 18th of the month, Mercury goes retro. And then in August, on the 11th, Mercury goes direct. On the 25th, will leave shadow. That is the larger Mercury retrograde season. You really want to pay attention to what's happening at the very beginning of this month, because once we get to the middle of August, that is when Mercury will return to where Mercury is as we begin this month. Whatever's happening now, you may see it very differently in mid-August. So pace yourself as you navigate this time, but it is an important time at that. It is a time that is about opening up possibilities for you in more ways than one. It is this Mercury retrograde that is taking place entirely in a friendship part of your sky. Now, if anybody out there is going to be just walking down the street and running into somebody seemingly out of nowhere, it certainly is you. I will give you an example. Years ago, I was in Barcelona, of all places, right? I went and did my undergrad in Toronto. Well, what happens? I'm just walking down the street in Barcelona, and there is one of my friends from my undergrad years in Toronto, just sitting there with another friend, having a coffee. And it was wild. It was surreal. It was hard to believe that that moment was taking place. But yeah, that's what happens when you have Mercury retrograde in a friendship part of your sky. In the last place you'd expect to see somebody, you see that person. So this can be very interesting for you. It certainly can represent an important moment, an important journey, if you will. However, and for all of that, as part of this larger season, it is also about understanding your role within groups, professional groups included. And this is also about a deeper examination of the hopes and wishes that you have for your life. And that is going to be an important consideration as well once we get later in the month with the new moon. I'll be here to talk about it in just a moment. Going on to the other retrogrades, well, they include Saturn and Neptune. Neptune on the 4th, Saturn on the 13th, both happening in your opposite sign. If anybody out there is likely to feel a sense of, well, discomfort, discontent, where it comes to a key partnership in your life, it very well might be you. This might speak to business partners and professional alliances. With Neptune going retro, it is the uncomfortable breaking of illusion and fantasy. With Saturn going retro, it is some reality check moment, even if it's hard, even if you wish it were different. For all that though, it is a chance to see another person differently, more clearly, and to understand whether or not nurturing that partnership, understanding how to strengthen that bond, is it worth it? Is it worth the work? Is it worth the sacrifice to you or not? That's part of what you might be looking at more deeply as you navigate this time and this month. Now, the very big news is the fact that Uranus is going to change signs. Uranus will move into fellow air sign Gemini. This is a part of the sky for you that has to do with understanding your place in the world. It is larger than life, if you will. It is a part of the sky that has to do with long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, legal matters, and the personal beliefs that help you to make sense of the world, that guide your life. Now, wherever it is that Uranus goes, it's like a new area of life where you find freedom. Sometimes it can be just freedom there, but I find more often it's like you're breaking free on an energetic level where you want to like sort of break free of a rut. it is one of those areas where it feels like there's a revolution occurring. I call Uranus the wake up and the shake up. That's really what it does. And for some, it's going to be quite immediate. For others, it might take longer. It might be a slower process. But very quickly, you are going to find yourself almost antsy, almost itching to get out into the world in some way. And understanding your place in the world differently. This really is about expanding your horizons. And it is these very institutions that I mentioned that might represent freedom to you in some way. And it's the new experiences that ultimately also represent that sense of the possible, that sense of opening up, a greater sense of who you are. In its highest sense, Uranus has to do with authenticity, some truth of you, being you, unabashedly so. And, you might end up being one of those people who travel so that you can feel like you're you when you're abroad and not with people who know you each and every day, day in and day out. So just pace yourself and be yourself. I like to say that, but trust your instincts at this time. Trust what feels like it could be an adventure for you. Trust what feels like it's waking you up, it's getting you excited, especially where it comes to doing that new thing or going to that new place, exploring that new idea. All of this restless sense of wanting adventure might find you, but there is also where you might find yourself that much more fully. On the 10th of the month, we have this month's full moon. This full moon takes place at the foundation of your chart, having to do with your past, your living situation, your family of origin, your parents in particular, where that applies. Mars is speaking in supreme harmony with this full moon. So there's a lot of energy, excitement. Mars in the sign before yours means that some of the best stuff is just going to show up and be part of what feels like it changes your rootedness in some way, your understanding of home in some way. So there's a lot of happy adrenaline energy here. However, this full moon ultimately is taking place with Mercury in shadow. So if you are looking to buy, sell, move, or attract a new roommate, just be careful with signing contracts. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing and you have to trust your life if you have to do it, but it might be the case that you sign something and then the contract just looks different on the other side. So and especially if it is, I will say, if a friend is your real estate agent, if a friend is giving you advice on what to do, that is where you might end up sort of going off in this direction. And that is where it might feel that much more dramatic to be brought back to clarity once it is that Mercury goes direct. But for all of that, a wonderful time for family reunions. You, being you, doing what you do, can be a part of opening up a feeling of family wherever you go. And this can also be a sense of wanting to feel at home. There's the motivation there, but also enjoying some sense of working on your own thing in your own space and time. The sheer joy of the endeavor might be part of what lights up for you now. July 24th features a very important new moon. Now, one of the big reasons this new moon is important is how it begins to activate the near Star of David or the grand sextile energy we have at play. This is the beginning of a peak, if you will, that is going to be that much more magnified once it is that we are in July of next year. For now, this new moon is happening in a friendship part of your sky. That's what's getting all the energy, if you will. But here's the thing. Pluto opposite this new moon. Uranus speaking in harmony with this new moon. So both Pluto and Uranus are in fellow air signs. So those vibes you're able to tap into that much more to your advantage. But simply the fact that Pluto is opposite means that there is stress, there's intensity, there's a desire for transformation that might be motivated by external circumstances. Uranus means change, excitement, or at least the opportunity to cultivate that. And then we get Saturn and Neptune in your opposite sign speaking in supreme harmony with this new moon. And so one-on-one alliances play a key role in opening up bigger opportunities, but also I would say opening up the potential for meaningful friendships, for participation in groups, or different perspectives on the friends that you have and what it is you might want to do with it. You look at these larger energies at play, and it is very powerful to consider that next year it'll be Jupiter mighty close to where it is the moon is now. That's going to magnify and make these energies that much bigger. But for now, we have these energies and we have this sense that good things can happen, big things can change. Yes, there's enough stress to make it count, to take action, to not get lazy with it. And yet there is also the promise of knowing yourself differently, more deeply, in the process of being open to friendships, new and familiar, open to groups, professional and personal. Now, where it comes to matters of love, both Saturn and Neptune are going retrograde in the first half of the month in your opposite sign of partnership. In addition to what I mentioned, this has to do with romantic partnerships, alliances, the love you want, the love you have. Neptune going retro is about admitting where it is that you've bought into some illusion, some fantasy. Even if it's hard, it's almost like an uncomfortable moment that lends itself to needing to release illusion. But it is Saturn in your opposite sign that is about being honest with yourself. If the sacrifices are worth it, being honest with yourself about where you are in love and how you feel about it. There is going to be a reality check moment. Whatever you think might be happening with someone or not, or whatever did happen with someone or not, you're able to see it differently. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, yeah, if you had your eye on somebody, this could play out. But also, if it is that you are considering a past relationship, a past alliance, maybe you've had some trouble releasing it energetically, for example, this energy is going to help you to do that. Saturn gets you real. Saturn gets you honest. Saturn gets you stark. And Neptune is about admitting the disappointment and mainly where it is that you might have let yourself down. And this is necessary. This shift will come after a moment that feels rather intense, but then moves on and then moves forward. So welcome it, whether you're releasing the past or there's a current circumstance where you hope something could happen. Well, at least you're going to see what's actually involved, who this person actually is, and you're likely to see where it is and how it is that, well, there's going to be sacrifices involved if you choose to pursue it. For those of you just starting to date someone, yeah, being honest with yourself about what this person is showing you, who this person is, and whether or not there's relationship material here. And especially with Neptune going retro, if there were fantasies, if there were hopes, and you know, it's almost like you hear this quite often. It happens a lot where people are in, you know, a situationship, but one person thinks it's a relationship. The other person doesn't see it that way. And that disconnect might show itself in some way. It happens to so many people out there. But yeah, that could be a possibility. But another possibility is that you want something very different than they do. And it could be that they see a different potential here than you do. Regardless, where it is that the two of you need to be more honest with each other, well, it starts as an emotion. It starts as a feeling that is just so obvious. It just grows forward from there. But at least it helps you to get honest. And where it is that a connection could actually be something good, well, these energies do suggest through being honest with each other, well, you start moving in the right direction. And for those of you in an established bond, well, whatever's happening in your partner's life, it may or may not have anything to do with the relationship itself, but that might be part of your partner feeling disillusioned, your partner feeling like there's some heavy duty reality check moments happening for them, and you're there in support, but again, it doesn't really involve you. Or this could be about the relationship itself. Regardless though, you're getting a chance to see your level of commitment. You're getting a chance to see where your expectations or their expectations are reasonable or not, and where it is that you stand with this person, where it is you've had questions as to whether or not you're in the right relationship for you. I think this is going to be a big light bulb moment for a lot of Libras out there. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say Uranus moving into fellow air sign Gemini. I am so excited about this energy for you, I will say, because this is about, in an instant, opening up the world to you. The world expands. It looks bigger. It looks mightier. It looks brighter. This is such a special energy on offer for you now. So stay open to possibilities. Stay open to prospects, knowing that your relationship with the world itself is going to go through an important revolution. And within it, you will find your personal freedom. Thank you for watching. Check out Nadiya Shah Superstars or thefutureismagical.com for expanded, exclusive horoscopes for as low as just $3 a month with choose your membership rate. Higher tiers get you class passes, consultations, and so much more. Learn more, sign up now at thefutureismagical.com or NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.